Hello, everybody. It is Friday, August 22nd, 2025, and thought I would, since since nobody asked for one, thought I would do a quick video update on where we are in the peace process with Ukraine and Russia. And the answer is we are nowhere. Putin basically was starting to get under some real pressure from the Trump administration, so he played the one card he had left, which is the Trump photo op. Trump is very, very big on optics. So Putin flew to Alaska. He gave the photo op. Trump literally rolled out the red carpet. You saw him. Trump was waiting for Putin to arrive. He was clapping for him when he arrived. Putin got there. They were supposed to have a 3-hour meeting, a working lunch, and then another meeting with more aides and advisors. After the working lunch, Putin canceled the working lunch and the second meeting, did the first meeting, and left. As best I can tell, Putin did two things in the first meeting. First, he literally rolled out the map explaining why Ukraine should actually belong to Russia, and then he basically flattered Trump the whole time. Trump, you won the 2020 election. It was all rigged. You're right about this. You're right about that. You're the best thing ever. Trump walks out. Frankly, if you look at his body language, pretty defeated, because the other thing that Vlad was very, very clear on is there's not going to be a ceasefire. He's not doing it. And so Trump walks out, very hangdog looking, and then media starts asking questions. There was no real press conference afterwards. And Trump, the one thing he said was, it's a 10. The meeting was a 10. They canceled lunch. They canceled the second meeting. They canceled the press conference. Trump had to save some face at that point. Vlad got on his plane and flew home. Then, of course, there was the meeting on Monday. Zelensky, basically said, sure, I'll meet with Putin. Let's do trilateral talks. Let's do you, me, and Putin. What the Russians have done since Monday is they have said there will be no trilateral talks. They will not do it. And they will not do a meeting with Zelensky. In fact, what the Russian Foreign Minister Lavrov has been saying is that they will only meet with Zelensky after Zelensky has agreed to a series of agenda points, including that Ukraine will change its official language to Russian, that they will cede the Donbass, that they will not join NATO, that there will be no European peacekeepers on the ground, and that the security guarantor for Ukraine will be China, and that Russia, God, I love the Russians, that Russia will have the right to veto any of the security guarantees at any time in the future. Man, you got to love the chutzpah on those guys. It's amazing. So basically, what we saw between the Friday summit and the Monday meeting, because you saw the European leaders do this, is everybody shows up and they tell Trump whatever he wants to hear. Trump, you're right about this, you're right about that, you're the best ever, you're so amazing. They leave, and then as soon as they get out the door, what they begin doing is the diplomats take over, and they start getting to work, and they start actually trying to do stuff. So the strategy that we're seeing from global leaders is go and tell Trump anything he wants to hear. Agree with him on anything, and then get out the door without him getting angry and blowing something up. Once you leave, you get your diplomatic corps to work with the American diplomatic corps, and you start trying to work things out. Now, the problem with this is that the United States currently does not have much of a functioning diplomatic corps. A lot of them were fired, and frankly, the only people Trump will listen to are Lutnick, Bessent, kind of sort of Rubio. Trump's not even really listening to J.D. Vance anymore. Vance has been very much shoved in the corner at this point. So the number of people that Trump is listening to is getting really small, which means the diplomatic corps level is really only semi-functional at this point. By the way, if you've also been looking at the statements from Dmitry Medvedev, I'm sure if I'm saying that right, and it's not Shoigu, it's the new guy who's on the Russian Defense Committee, they're also making it clear there's not going to be a peace agreement anytime soon. So what Putin is telling Trump and what the Europeans are telling Trump is whatever the hell he wants to hear. And then they are walking out and doing whatever it is they're going to do. Trump likes to be in a bubble where everything comes up exactly the way he wants it to. He is very happy there, and they are very happy to keep him there. But again, if you get to the lower levels, none of this is happening. The Ukrainians, by the way, have been clear. They're not agreeing to any of the Russian demands. And the Russians have been very clear. They're not backing off any of their demands. The Europeans, basically at this point, they want two things. They want to be able to buy American weaponry, equipment, and supplies for the Ukrainians, and they want the United States to keep satellite intelligence and targeting systems flowing. Right now, they are getting that. So the Europeans are pretty happy. The other thing from the European and Ukrainian perspective is that the Russian economy is seriously breaking down right now. The Russian military's capacity for large-scale offensive operations isn't quite completely broken, but it's getting very close. So what they're kind of looking at this thinking is they're thinking 4 months, 6 months, 8 months, somewhere in that range, Putin is going to have to come to them for a peace deal. They very correctly understand how weak Russia is at this point. Russia does pay well for American propagandists to put out the idea that Russia is very strong. It's completely BS. So they are not about to give in any Russian demands when they're looking and saying, look, we're at certainly less than 12, probably less than 8, and maybe less than 6 months before Russia really starts to fall apart. I mean, really falls apart. So they're really not inclined to lean on Ukraine to give up anything, because from their perspective, why? They can just break Russia in the next few months here. So in terms of peace, it is possible in 3 or 4 months at the earliest, because Russia might be in bad enough shape that they may have to at that point. I think more likely it's probably in the 6-month range, 8-month range, something like that. Because at that point, Russia's just going to lose the capacity to make war on a large scale. So that's where we're at. But if anyone's wondering, no, there's not going to be a peace agreement anytime the next, I think Trump was saying today, we'll know in 2 weeks. I can go ahead and tell you the answer in 2 weeks. 2 weeks, we do not have a peace agreement. And if I'm wrong, I will eat crow and everyone can make fun of me for it. But yeah, 2 weeks from now would be the first Friday in September. And yeah, we're not going to have a peace agreement by then. All right, bye-bye.